Hello Minecraft, this is Snow Van Hoften, and real quick here, I just kind of wanted to show you this build because this is kind of what I'm modeling the survival mode after. This is what I plan on building for the main house, and then I plan on building around it off to the sides and whatnot, different buildings. Overall, I want to kind of fill an area about like that all the way out here to where I'm at, off to the side of the house, complete with the lighting, complete with the pathways. Um, so this is kind of the goal of the Minecraft 180 days. I want to build this extreme house to the point where it's just like I really don't need it, but it's because it's fun. This is the model that I'm trying to do off of memory while I'm in survival mode. As you notice, I don't really flip back and forth. I just stay in there and I just build it. Real quick here, we're going to go on a quick tour. I'm just going to show you around the place. I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking because I don't have a soundproof room to record in. So just to make your experience a little better and not overhearing weird things that might happen or may not happen, I just don't record my voice the entire time. So we're going to get started with the tour. Alrighty guys, first up, this is the garden area. I know that this much right here in front of me is done. I know that right now in server mode I have this as cobblestone. At some point in time I will switch it over to the pathway. So this is the current area we have set up in Minecraft, and off to the side here I plan on putting in this style of setup where it's got the melons and the pumpkins. And then move the sugar canes over to in front of the house. Last time we were in survival mode, you would have noticed that I was building up this area right here. This area is primarily just a spot to have water for the garden areas and whatnot. And then in here it's going to be a storage room in here, and then a little spot for music and whatnot. A potions area. Now you'll notice that I'm not entirely done building this. I'm going to be finishing up the touching spots here while we're on here. I spent a good, hour maybe when I was building this the first time. I didn't realize I didn't have it complete finished when I started recording. I've been spending the last 3 or 4 days on survival mode. I haven't really gone back on here to check the details. I first started off with just a real rough scratch style looking house, and then I decided that I was going to come back in later on and fix it up so that way it looks real nice. And so I've been going in on the inside and building what I want the interior to look like. I've always really liked using these regular pistons for the visual effect. I like the way they look. I like the way it adds support to the room, but it doesn't really overdo it for me. Over there that's going to be a fireplace here in a second as soon as I am done kind of explaining what I've done so far. This is obviously going to be where the potions are made. I still have to put 2 more over there. Because when I'm in survival mode, I usually have 2 or 3 sometimes 4 brewing stands, and I'm constantly brewing potions. Um, it's something I just do so that way when I go and actually fight mobs and whatnot, I've got a variety of potions. I usually tend, especially when I'm fighting creatures I don't much care for, like creepers, I'll throw a potion of damage at them, and it kind of causes them to jump back a little bit, and then I will go and finish them off. So it kind of halves their health if you're lucky. Um, I'm not sure the exact amount of heart damage it does, but I'm pretty sure it does quite a bit because I do instant damage too. I know a couple of those usually kill off creepers pretty quickly. But real quick here, I'm going to finish up this room, and then you can see we'll go into the other rooms as well. Alrighty guys, you noticed I added some chests here and put water in the cauldrons in the other room, but for here, this is usually where I come into the house. That's why I put this towards that village that we came through when I first spawned in. Um, because usually when I come through this door, I'm bringing in materials, and these are kind of just my quick drop chests before I organize them into the storage room or into the attic. Um, I will show the attic here in a little bit when I go up the stairs. This is where I just drop everything so I can deal with it later so I can keep up with what I need done immediately. Alrighty, in here, this usually becomes the food chest. Currently on survival mode, it's just full of junk, and the food chest is up in the attic. Um, I kind of like things to look like they're real, so I build a kitchen. Um, that's actually where I tend to stick my cooked meat. That I just broke 1 second here. Alrighty guys, so real quick, this is mainly just a joke that I do because it's kind of funny. Um, Usually if I'm kind of low on health, I'll throw a raw piece of meat on there just so I can get a piece of steak. It's just a humorous thing that I do. It's not necessary, but it's kind of like you're cooking your meat. So Alrighty, and that's just the front door area. Then we'll go upstairs here real quick. This actually gives you access to the little porch that I built. I kind of like having it up here. Sometimes I'll sit up here and shoot skeletons off in the distance, which is just kind of fun to do. Yeah, like that. Only instead it's a skeleton. But up here I usually put a chest with like little special items. Every time I defeat the Ender Dragon, I always tend to put the egg somewhere in my house on a piece of obsidian, so that's why I put that there. I always put the best armor I have on a stand in here. And then we have the bedroom. Right now in the bedroom I only have the bed, but I always put in a chest and another armor stand with leather armor on it, because when I decide that I'm going to go to the village, I usually wear my leather armor rather than my fancy ass-kicking armor. Real quick, we're going to go up into the attic. Alrighty, and up here, I usually have torches and whatnot, but I haven't put them in yet. I have this little setup with the chests. It's just enough to be able to get what I need done, and that's it. Nothing real fancy. Sometimes I'll go in and put like an ender chest in here, and I just broke my floor like a dumbass. Um, Now, one of the things you'll notice with my builds is when I build flooring, I don't use solid blocks. I don't like it. I like the lighting that I get when I don't use those. I like how it feels a little bit more realistic. Um, I don't like overly high ceilings, and it also tends to prevent Endermen from spawning inside my house, which I've had happen before, um, because I pissed them off by looking at. And when you put this half block right here, it prevents them from spawning into where you're actively at. Um, it's just a little fail-safe thing I do. It's kind of fun too. And then in here, I have some furnaces set up here. You'll notice that I tend to have a lot more furnaces than I probably need, but it's because I like to have everything kind of spread out and organized. We have an anvil right here, and then we have an enchantment table here, bookshelves, a couple of crafting tables. Then in here we have the actual furnace room. Now this is where I primarily smelt like ores, iron ore, gold ore, things like that. Different things that I need for building materials. So sometimes I'll smelt clay or nether rack to make nether brick with. Sometimes I'll smelt clay blocks or glass or whatever I'm using to further my character rather than food. Food tends to stay over in those other ones you've seen. That's how I get all the food for downstairs into the kitchen. Is I smelt them in those over there. Those are like my cooking areas. Completely unnecessary, but I do it anyways. It's mainly out of habit. Like when I actually make stuff in real life, I tend to avoid using the same materials I cook with. I tend to have a special set just for that. Real quick, we're going to go outside and kind of show off what it looks like at night again. I'm just going to do a we're just going to circle around. I'm not going to be talking during this part. Because when I record, I have to hold down my arrow key, so that way I'm not recording constantly. So real quick, I'm going to just kind of do an aerial shot of the whole house so you can kind of see what it looks like. Alrighty, so this is what it looks like. That's what I plan on building in survival mode. Like I said again, I'm also planning on building more over this way and over this way. Sometimes I'll go in and build actual skyscrapers, but I need to get lava first. I build cobblestone skyscrapers that are just dramatically huge. And one of them I actually built, I took like, God, I want to say like 30 some. No, it would have been, let's see here, 9. It would have been 27 separate things of lava, and built a huge skyscraper all the way up to the clouds, which was really, really cool. I fell off like 4 times and died. It was terrible, but when it was finished, it was pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, I might even build one on here. If you guys want to see that, put that in the comments below, and I will build one in survival mode just so you guys can see it. I tend to go very, very detailed with them, so there's windows on every single floor. I usually use them as storage rooms, so there'll be a shit ton of chests in them, and they're just huge. It's a lot of fun to build them. If you want to see that, just post it in the comments below, like, hey, we want to see this huge tower you build, and I will be happy to build it for you guys. Alrighty, and I just now realized while I was sitting here, that one's still set for daytime. Real quick, I'm going to change that because it kind of bothers me. A little bit OCD, just a little. Not majorly, though. Alrighty, that's going to conclude this video. See you next time on the survival mode. If you enjoyed this video, enjoyed seeing what I plan on building in survival mode, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to show your support, and I'll see you next time.